Quick flick recap here, spoiler alert. Today I will be recapping a sci-fi thriller and adventure movie called Skylines. The movie is about an alien attack on Earth. They harvest human brains in their own bodies. Rose, who was born with special powers, was the one that could help. Everyone knew Rose from a young age was special. She grew extremely fast and only blood transfusions would slow her down. Soon Rose found out she had the power to return people's mind and soul to the aliens, regaining their conscious but staying in the alien bodies. Over the next 10 years Rose and her brother helped turn the tides against the enemy. Everything seemed to be on the right path, until the harvesters presented their mortar vessel, which destroyed anything in its way with one blast. Red Fleet had cleared a path. And Rose, having one shot, froze, enough time to mess everything up. Having to kill thousands of her men, to save the rest, which was too much for her to bear, but it was the price of victory. Too much to bear for Rose, she left and disappeared. With time a reward had been set for the return of Rose. 1 million to be exact. The men didn't know that she was always hiding in plain sight. Rose has a problem with her hand from exposure to the dangerous virus. The virus transforms humans into aliens. Rose gets arrested by the armed forces, and gets taken to a base outside of the city. Back to the war against the aliens. The general never wanted Rose to leave, as she was his special weapon. Their mission was to convert every harvested human back to normal. But with a virus that had been spreading like wildfire, a lot of the saved ones had been dying. Looking for the solution to extending an alien's life, their mission is to find the power core from the alien's planet. Finally, tracking back to Cobalt-1, being the aliens' home, which they had finally been able to find. The mission is to send a team of humans and hit them in the core. The team was set. Liam, the bodyguard and the muscle. G, being the brains. Colonel Owens, a prick sometimes but former Navy SEAL. Alexei, expert in search and destroy. And Rose, being the only one who could get the core drive. Upon her capture and return, she is reunited with her brother, Trent. Trent and Rose catch up about their father who went missing. Rose is caught up on the action, her being the only one that can counter alien technology. Their plan, to go through a black hole and get to the enemy, infiltrating the enemy vessel and retrieving the core drive. Facing extermination, Rose is finally convinced to join and embark on a trip. Rose and the others are locked into the core of the ship, so they can't turn into aliens as well. Just while they travel through the black hole, to her surprise being locked in with Liam. The team finally arriving at Cobalt-1, and get out of the safe rooms. Entering their orbit, Trent almost crashes on another ship, and they can't pick it up on their radar. Something new for them, an unmanned ship. Soon the gravitational force pulls them in, forcing them to a crash landing. With only 24 hours of power left in their ship, their only way out is with the core they came after. The doctor is the only one looking for a cure on the virus that's transforming people to aliens. With time running out and attacks happening in the city, it's only a matter of time for her to finish the vaccine. Upon their entrance, no life form is seen or heard. The team make their way, thinking it's empty, but soon hearing noises. As they venture deeper, their signal starts to shade off, and they start to hear life form moving around. And finding out the planet is a tomb. Not being able to see the enemies leaves them in panic. And Rose fears they will shoot Trent, on accident. Colonel is the first to shoot and down an enemy of shadow figure. Everything goes south when one grabs Alexei, and they soon come face to face with one, realizing they can see. Soon enemies appear from every side, and they must battle for their lives. The highly trained team is able to fend them off. Rose needs to save Alexei. Not being able to with bullets, she is forced to use her powers, but she is still unable to use them. Rose is unable to save Alexei, getting wounded and left on the ground. Just in time, Trent shows up. They decide to leave Alexei behind, because she is going to die, so she blows herself. Colonel Owens and Liam are very angry, and get mad at Rose for not doing her job, and letting Alexei die. Back home everyone faces a danger with the infected. The humans that had turned to aliens get to the camp, and start attacking. The doctor injects one, but is not strong enough to get his soul back. Fran, the old man, risks his life for the young girl, and dies. They find a piece of evidence, needing to go scan it, and Rose deciding she can't do her job. More enemies come to their surprise, surrounding them. This time it'll be a lot harder. They find out that the aliens can't see in the light. The light passes, and they are forced to re-engage. To their luck, they get their eyes in the skies to help. Narrowly escaping through a doorway, going towards the core. They find the door, and open it, finding what they came after. Rose says her last words to Trent. Rose then uses her powers to counter the core, and it ends up going inside her, making her into an alien. Rose then drops down, and finds the rest connecting to her. Trent is not willing to leave without Rose, and goes against the team. Rose, meanwhile, gets unconnected to the aliens' cores. She comes face to face with the enemy. Liam starts getting attacked. Rose is now connected with the boss, which blames Rose for ruining their harvest on planet Earth, and connects her to his world. Trent comes to the rescue, grabbing the core and attacking the others. Trent and Rose fight each other. Rose's arm piece is broken, and with that she comes back to her senses. She gains control, and is more powerful than before. They have a standoff, and the alien backs off knowing he would get finished. Rose, now more powerful than ever, returns to the team. Colonel goes against Rose and Trent. Liam decides not to and helps. They gets attacked, but with Rose's power they're no match for Rose. Rose doesn't know if she should trust Liam, since he knew the plan all along. Back at home, the aliens that had been saved start taking over. Doctor and the young girl try escaping. The man the doctor saves comes to their rescue. The doctor gets armed to fight back and escape. Liam offers his blood for Rose. They try leaving, and find a ship marking. More shadow aliens appear. Liam fiercely battles them, but gets sideswiped. Rose comes back, controlling a super mutant, but as her being the controller. Trent's mind starts turning to an alien's, but Rose is able to hide him away in the body. Colonel returns with the core. G asks for the rest with no answer. Rose and Liam find out the truth, that the objective was to poison the people. G looks if Colonel is infected. One alien boards the ship. Rose sees the general leaving, who drops a bomb on their departure. The general feels accomplished, destroying the planet. Rose, Liam, and Kent are left in space, but with her powers pushes towards the ship and latches on. G is catching onto the lie, and fights the Colonel. Rose opens the ship's door. G is able to escape Colonel, by locking him in a room. The others get on the ship. The general clearly against them. Rose is too weak to fight back. The general's plans was to destroy all the aliens on Earth, saved or not. Rose unleashes Trent from the monster, still being with the aliens' control. General not having to fight his battles, so Colonel comes in to save him. Back at the camp, the few left fight against the aliens, trying to take over. Trent is able to control himself when asked by Rose. The other pilot gets in the way to help Rose, but the alien boss gets in and rips the general apart. The boss also takes care of Colonel, while the rest try to stay alive. G helps Rose by bringing blood and getting her strong. Rose takes an alien's arm, to fight off the boss. They go back and forth. G and Liam taking back Trent, but he wakes up still in alien's control. Trent about to kill Leah, and the boss about to take Rose, but she fights back. Rose finally gets the boss, and grabs onto something. The boss doesn't get sucked into the black hole. Holds onto Trent, leaving no other choice but to let go. Sacrificing himself but killing the boss. Rose then closes the black hole with her power, being able to save Trent's upper body. G, Liam, and Rose get back together. Back at camp the few fend off the aliens, but what's to come is much greater. Rose and the crew get back in time, and destroy all going towards the camp, lifting them and exterminating them. Rose gets back to camp, with the goal being healing everyone that got infected by the virus, but their first stop is to go find her father. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.